everyone, we are the last group and we are going to discuss one of the Aeta tribe, the Aeta in Pampanga. The Aeta, pronounced as Aitas, are among the earliest migrants or inhabitants of the Philippines. According to historians, the Aitas, also known as Agtas, are Australo-Melanesians. Historical accounts suggest that they are of the same group as of those Aborigines in Australia and Melanesians in Solomon Island. While they closely resemble physical characteristics such as curly hair and dark-colored skin, it is not clear how they arrived in the Philippines. Most historians point to the Bering Land Bridge theory to explain the history of the Aitas. Ang theory na ito is nagsasuggest that the Aitas reached the Philippines dahil dun sa tinatawag na land bridge or narrow strait that connected all land masses in the world. According to his theory, hunters at the same time crossed this land bridge. But due to the movement of Earth's surface, these migration paths eventually disappeared. So, hindi na nila alam kung paano pa sila makakabalik dun sa kanilang pinaggalingan. Therefore, even those with no intent to colonize new lands, even yung mga hindi naman nila kagustuhan na mag-migrate, ay napadamay sila dun sa mga nag-migrate at hindi na alam kung paano sila makakabalik dun sa kanilang original homes. Aitas are characterized by their skin color, height, and their hair type. Karamihan sa mga Aitas, kilala natin sila dahil sa kanilang kulay na kayumanggi or kulay itim at kulot yung kanilang buhok. They mostly have dark to dark brown skin, curly hair, and are usually below 5 feet tall. Traditionally, Aitas are hunting and gathering indigenous people. They're actually among the most skilled when it comes to the jungle survival. They are even able to make use of plants as herbal medicine as possessed tools and weapons. Where they're nomadic, they are able to build temporary house made of sticks or yung mga kahoy sa ating kagubatan. Because they are usually scattered in the mountain areas, the Spaniards had a hard time introducing the Catholicism to their population. They mostly resisted to change, which made it difficult for the Spanish to colonize their area. So, nanatili sa kanila. Yun yung dahilan kung bakit mas pinanatili nilang i-preserve yung kanilang cultural tradition and beliefs hanggang ngayon. In the Philippines, Aitas as well as other indigenous peoples belong to the marginalized sector of the country. They often displaced because their homeland had been destroyed due to illegal logging, mining, and slash and burn farming. Thus, this situation have forced them to relocate and leave their ancestral land. When the Philippine government has implemented and mandates and acts such as the Indigenous People Rights Act of 1997, it is not enough to protect them and help them to cope with matters such as access to job and livelihood support. The Philippine government affords them little or no protection, and the Aeta have become extremely nomadic due to social and economic strain on their culture and way of life that had previously remained unchanged of 1,000 years. Ang mga Aeta ay gumagamit din ng iba't ibang tools para sa kanilang hunting and other gathering activities. Kasama na rito yung traps, knives, and bow and arrow, which different types of arrow points for specialized purposes. Most Aetas are trained for hunting and gathering at the age of 15, including Aeta women, while men and some women typically use the standard bow and arrow. Fishing and food gathering are also done by both males and females in terms of gender. Then, Aeta communities are more egalitarian in structure and in practice. Marami na ding Altang ang naka-adapt ng language of their Austronesian Filipino neighbors, which have sometimes diverged over time to become different languages. These include, in order of number of speakers, is Mag-Indi, Mag-Ansi, Abelen, Ambala, and Maribeliano. Now let's move on to the culture of the Aeta. Most Aeta practice monotheism and are animists. They worship a supreme being and at the same time also believe in environmental spirits. They believe that various places in our environment are being governed by both good and evil spirits. If the illness persists, even after continuous drinking and recommended herbal medicine, that's when they seek the help of an herbolario or soothsayer. Ginagawa nila ito because naniniwala sila na yung illness or yung sakit na nararanasan nila is caused by a spirit that they may have appended, in which case herbal medicines or medical doctors won't be able to address. In order to appease the spirits, they ask the herbolario to perform a ritual called ududung. In this ritual, the herbolario places rice or raw eggs on the patient's forehead first to determine what causes the illness and repeats this several times to confirm. Pagkatapos noon at nalaman na ng herbolario kung ano nga ba yung karamdaman ng isang Aeta, the patient will be asked to bath with rice wash and then to offer food to appease the offended spirits. Halimbawa, karamihan sa atin is namulat tayo dun sa maraming mga pamahiin na may nuno sa punso. Hindi pala siya pamahiin. Isa siya sa kultura ng mga Aeta na yung naniniwala sila na bad spirits, yun nakakapagbigay din sa kanila ng mga sakit. Halimbawa dun sa nuno sa punso. Kapag ka nanuno or nabati, kailangan mong maglagay ng food or mag-offer ka ng food dun sa may malapit sa punso para para maiwasan na or para pagalingin ka na nung tinatawag na spirits na meron dun sa punso. The Aeta communities take pride in their use of herbal medicines and their own natural ways of curing the sick, finding their main source of herbal medicines in their habitat rather than buying costly medicines. Emphasizing the mutual relationship with the nature also has a great attitudinal impact pertaining to sustainability approach and practices in healthcare. Meron silang tinatawag na four manifestations of the great creator who rules the world. Naniniwala sila na the tigbalog is the source of life and action. Liyub naman takes action and production of growth, and amas move people to pity, love and unity and peace of art. While Benangewan is responsible for change, sickness and death. Guto-Gutumakan is the supreme being and great creator who have the four manifestations, namely Tigbalog, Liyub, Amas, and Binangiwam. Ang mga Eta rin ay naniniwala na meron silang tinatawag na the God of Hunt. Ito na nga ay si Kedes. Si Pawi naman is the God of the forest and Sed is the God of the sea.
And now let us proceed to the arts and craft of Pampanga Aitas. As for their clothing, they wear plain and simple attire. Traditional Aitas who are skilled in weaving and plaiting wear wrap-around skirt or bark cloth for women and loin cloths for men. Yan, nakikita nyo naman po sa larawan na ang suot ng babae ay naka-skirts na kulay pula. At sa lalaki naman ay yung bahag na tinatawag na loin cloths. Yan, makikita niyo po sa larawan. At yung ibang Aita naman ay na-adapt na rin nila yung mga modern damit, lalo na yung mga nakakababa sa bayan. Next is, there are also into music and arts making use of ornament as their accessories and have accessibles of instrument to create melodious rhythm. Naman po, kinikilala rin sila sa pagkakaroon ng sariling musika at mga arts. Yung ibang arts ay ginagawa nila bilang ornament o palamuti sa kanilang katawan o sa ibang bagay. At meron din silang mga instrumento na sila mismo yung gumagawa. Ito po yung mga halimbawa. No? Makikita niyo po dyan sa mga litrato. Makikita sa larawan na hugis bilog na gawa sa braided rattan at yung maliit na mga bilog doon ay mga kahoy yun na binilog lang nila at tali. Makikita natin ito sa mga bag or mga kung saan-saan na nakasabit para magsilbing palamuti natin o nila. Next is a traditional form of visual art is body scarification. Ang mga Aitas ay intentionally wound their skin on their backs, arm, breasts, legs, hands, calves, and abdomen. And then they irritate the wounds with fire, lime, and other means to form scar. They also like to participate in body scarification na kung saan po pinaniniwalaan nilang marka ng kagandahan.
Makikita ninyo sa larawan ang halimbawa ng body scarification na isinasagawa ng mga Aeta sa Pampanga. Ito ay kanilang inuukitan ang kanilang sarili upang makabuo ng anumang disenyo ng kanilang naisipahiwatig. Matutunghayan dito na ang kanilang pagiging malikain at ang pagiging matiyaga dahil makikita ninyo naman kung gaano kadetalyado ang bawat hugis sa larawan.
Next is decorative disfigurements. Ang decorative disfigurements na ginagawa ng mga Aeta ay ang chipping of the teeth o yung pagtatapyas nila sa kanilang ngipin upang maging matulis. Ginagamitan nila ito ng file. Ang mga Aeta ay binabago nila ang kanilang ngipin sa panahon ng kanilang pagdadalaga at pagbibinata. At pagtagal ng panahon ay nangingitim ang mga ngipin nila. Next is, the Aetas generally use ornaments typically of people living in subsistence economies. Lahat naman siguro tayo ay nakakita na ng mga Aeta na kung saan marami silang mga kolorete sa kanilang katawan at kakakitaan din natin sila ng mga flowers and leaves na kung saan nagsisilbing earplugs nila for certain occasion. Ito yung mga nilalagay nila sa kanilang tainga na kung saan ito ay mayroong malaking butas at naglalagay din sila ng girdles o yung big kiss at yan, necklace, and neck bands. Next is, the Aetas are skillful in weaving and plaiting. Alam naman natin ang mga Aeta ay mga skillful. Mahusay sila sa paglalala o pagtitirintas. Women exclusively weave windows and mats. Only men make armlets o sila din yung mga kumukuha ng mga material para sa mga gagamitin ng mga babae para sa kanilang paglalala. Ngayon naman ating alamin ang kalagayan ng mga Aeta sa Pampanga ngayong may pandemic. The indigenous Aeta group, Mag-Inde in Porac, Pampanga have experienced discrimination over their diet that includes bats. In a press briefing on Sunday, a study by the University of the Philippines and the United Nations Economic, Social and Cultural Organization presented challenge of the IPs in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic that reportedly began from bats in China. Ang mga Aeta nga ay nakakaranas ng discrimination ngayong panahon ng pandemic dahil sinasabi ng mga taga-patag na nasa Aeta nanggagaling ang COVID-19 na kung saan dahil daw sila ay kumakain ng mga paniki. Bukod sa diskriminasyon na kanilang nararanasan, hindi rin lahat ng mga katutubo ay nabibigyan ng tama at sapat na ayuda. Sa Barangay Planas, pinaghahatian ng mga mahigit kumulang 250 na pamilya ang ayuda na dapat ay sa 27 na pamilya lamang. Ang mga Aetas rin ay kulang ng access sa PPE required by local government. Due to this, They have resorted to creating makeshift banana leaf face masks just to comply with the regulation. According to Sumayop, the Aetas were also left behind in education, as the learning modules provided to them are not written in their own dialect. Ang mga module ay nakasulat sa Ingles, Tagalog, at Kapampangan, ngunit walang module na nakasulat sa Aeta Mag-ND.
Ako po si Engkar Laksamana. Isa po akong membro sa Adwan. Isa po akong pulot, isang Aeta. Kami po yung mga katutulong nagkakadugo. Pamilya po ang turing ang bawat isa. Lahat po ay nagtatrabaho. Lahat po ay may obligasyon. Ang kabuhayan namin dito po ay nangangalap po kami ng mga puso, kamote, papaya, at saging. Yun lang pong taga ng kabuhayan namin dito sa Adwan. Pinalaki kami ng magulang namin, hindi nagpapalimos. Kundi pinalaki kami, namulat kami sa aming mga gulang sa pagtitinda. Kaya ngayon ang mga anak namin namulat din sa pagtitinda. Hanggang sa makakaangat yung buhay nila. Kahit mahirap ang ginagawa namin sa buhay namin, para mabuhay lang kami, mabuhay ang aming mga anak. Nagtitinda po kami pababa, papunta sa Pure Gold. Nakakabenta kami ng mga 500. Pero kung nakipagtinda ka lang, 200. Tsaka kung walang bumibili, nagtsatsagaan mo lang mga 250, yun lang.
Dito kasi bawal yung bawal yung matulog ka maghapon eh. Kailangan kapag matulog ka maghapon, huwag kang kakain. Hindi mo pinantrabaho eh. Pag ka, may kakainin ka. Ngayon kapag natulog ka, huwag kang kakain maghapon. Kakain ka na lang bukas na umaga.
Itong ginagawa namin para po sa anak namin nag-aaral. Kulang pa yung kikitain namin. Araw-araw, 50 pesos. Minsan 100. Minsan 70. Pinagbabaon po nilang pababa sa Airport City.
Ang problema natin dito is kapag pumasok sa high school yung bata, nahihirapan din siya. Naglalakad siya rito, maalis siya rito ng madaling araw, maglalakad hanggang Airport City, yung mga high school natin. So yun nga, gumawa tayo ng paraan kung paano tayo makahingi ng
kahit na nahihirapan po kami sa aming kalagayan, masaya na po kami. Masaya na po ang aming mga anak kung wala pong manggugulo sa aming baryo.